Welcome one, welcome all to the amazing Rev Graces end of summer sermon. Come to you this week. It's been a while since I've been on the air with you all, but every once in a while it's good to come back to you all to just remember we must all have a little faith, a little understanding, a little acceptance, a little evolution, a little knowledge, and a little respect this week and this month and this 2022 in the respect of the Ten Commandments and how varied they've been over the years, and a gentle reminder to try to be respectful of the wise words that Moses and the team back in biblical times tried to install in man to make a more peaceful, understanding, and accepting world of one another. And although country to country man must protect and honor and obey upon the governments of the countries, we also take a moment to remember things closer to home and how things have evolved and changed since those early days, BC and Anno Domini. And indeed, with birth and death and all that comes with it, we've learned that during life's endurance and life, we also take solace or hope in the firm faith that reincarnation is possible, and once we leave this body, we go into the spiritual plane and may remain there for a while in limbo, if you like, before returning into another human portal or animal portal or fish, fowl, or whatever portal the spirit chooses to dwell in, be it amphibian or arachnophobic or indeed the human mammals or animals. So, with the firm faith and understanding and wish of wanting good for all men and women and beings upon this planet, whatever you be, I take moments as we come to the end of this summer solstice, and it's been a very hot summer. The gods have been burning fires in the sky and upon the planet in order to keep warm this very, very hot globe at the moment. And with global warming, we must realize with the heat, we must cool things down. That is why we have the seasons, why we have light in the day and dark in the night, so the earth can cool during the evening hours. And depending where you're placed on the map, be it in the North Polar ice caps or down in the Antarctica, or indeed in the equatorial line of the planet in the hotter reaches of our Earth, be it South America, Africa, Europe, Asia, or Australasia, or indeed the Arctic or Antarctica. Wherever you're placed on the map, be you sailing or firmly on land, at sea, or indeed upon God's green earth. We must remember the first of the commandments. I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. You shall have no other gods before me. Let us look upon that and the intrigue that the message was sent in Exodus 22:17, and how wonderful those words may be. Where we have traveled from east to west, or north or south, wherever you have traveled with one's persons or people, to better and promised lands. Remembering, of course, that once upon a time the promised land was in the reaches of Egypt, in Bethlehem and Israel, and all of those wonderful, wonderful Meccas of the Holy Land. Once upon a time, that was the promised land of people from further reaches, far worse than those lands. And indeed, those that have traveled to the United Kingdom or the Americas and beyond to find a better world, remembering the Lord, the God, and gods before, the God we believe in the Bible, has taught us the many different aspects of life. For we have learned from the predecessors of the land that it takes all of us to make a world. And with God being within all of us, we shall have no other gods before ourselves. As above, so below.
Down there, look at me now. I'm flying high. Here I am. Heaven knows how. Heaven knows why. Guess I'm just a lucky guy.
bless the heavens when they are sweet. Now, as above, so below. For the second commandment it is written, and of course these words were written many, many years ago. So we must, in progressive and evolutionary years, take from the words and the translations what we do, in order to find a little solace and peace in our own world. For the second commandment, as a message from the gods to Moses on the mount, was that ye shall not make for yourself a carved image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or indeed that is in the water under the earth. You shall not bow down to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers on the children to the third and fourth generations of those who hate me, but showing mercy to thousands, to those who love me and keep my commandments. And intriguingly, that commandment, upon those words, to be thyself, and indeed for the message that he himself was a jealous God amongst the gods, to come back and visit the iniquity of the fathers, to really look upon the things that have not been obeyed or commanded years later. Well, as above, so below, when Orpheus reached the underworld. Obvious in the underworld, Offenbach and Gerhard, the can, instantly recognizable. For thine was made to dance in the underworld until thine feet bled, if not obeying the Lord's commandments all those years ago, and the many interpretations and stories that are told. For, you know, he was once an angel that fell from grace, thine whose name shall not be mentioned. Now, the third of the commandments, you shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless who takes his name in vain. Now, this is very difficult in a modern world where one does scream expletives every once in a while, and we get frustrated by many different lifestyles, many different words that have been developed since the early writings of the Bible and translations. And indeed, we've all said, oh, doggone it, and things like that. And sometimes words much harsher. But try to not take the Lord's name in vain, or indeed to speak ill of the dead, for thine could come back to haunt you. Perhaps in this day and age, the Lord may realize that it isn't all about He above. It's about all of us. Remembering, of course, that vanity is written as one of the sins. And indeed, we must appreciate, although we are images and created in God's image, that vanity not take hold too much, and we appreciate the beauty in all things, not thine self only. Now on to our next commandment, and again reminding you how things have changed. The fourth commandment quoteth, Remember the Sabbath day, to keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor, and do all your work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord your God. In it you shall do no work. You, nor your son, nor your daughter, nor your male servant, nor your female servant, nor your cattle, nor your stranger, who is within your gates. For in 6 days the Lord made the heavens and the earth, the sea and all that is in them, and rested is the seventh day. Therefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Now, let's think about that a moment. Because in the Old Testament, of course, and in Judaism, the Sabbath day is the Saturday. In Christianity, the Sabbath day, the holy day, is a Sunday, and shows how evolutionary the Old and New Testaments are, and how we must look upon whichever day, in whichever part of the world your Bible is translated, or into your own religion, that shall be your holy day. And if you think we're getting a little deep, well, we're only just beginning to scratch the surface. Here, by surfaces, Sunday best. And you may indulge in your hobbies and pastimes on a Sunday in this day and age, but try not to work too hard and give yourself some time off every once in a while to R&R from your working week.
hold your balance. I just say whatever, cause there is no way you're round. Everyone falls down sometimes, but you just gotta know it'll all be fine. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Feeling good, like I should. When in circle, walk around the neighborhood. Feeling blessed, never stressed. Got that sunshine on my Sunday best. Hey, some days you wake up and nothing works, you feel surrounded. Gotta give your feet some gravity to get you grounded. Keep good things inside your ears just like the waves and sound it. And just say whatever, cause there is no way you're grounded. Everyone falls down sometimes, but you just gotta know it'll all be fine. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Feeling good, like I should. When in circle, walk around the neighborhood. Feeling blessed, never stressed. Got that sunshine on my Sunday best. Hey, feeling good, like I should. When in circle,
The wonderful surfaces when we're in our Sunday best. Marvelous. And of course, I hope you don't tune into my sermons and listen to my words and think I'm all angel and light, you see, because we have all lived a life well lived, and we've all repented many sins of our past in order to face our futures. And when you find solace in confessions of your own kind, to whomever may be your confessor, you should hopefully be able to work forward in the world without too much prejudice from others who may not agree with you or your ways or the things you may have done in your past. But if you try to be a better human than you were the day before each day of your life, you're on the right road to recovery and for making a better future for yourself. And due to respect of thyself and those around us, our brothers and sisters, our brethren, and of course our mothers and our fathers, whom without none of us would be here. So the fifth commandment, to honor your father and your mother, that your days may be long upon the land which the Lord your God is giving you. This earth, this land, whatever reach of the planet you may be upon, is ours. We must take care of it and the people that walk upon it. And although we may have disagreements or disinterest with some of our mothers and fathers' ways, and they may have some conflict of interests in their children's ways, we must honor one another. Honor your father and your mother, and be respectful. Some lyricism now from the words of Jerry Herman and Michael Stewart to Sister Midler, who may be a little spooky come Halloween, but stands firmly, as we all do, for our mothers past and present and future in the motherhood.
I stand for motherhood, America, and a hot lunch for orphans. Take off your hat, sir. Betsy Ross's flag is passing. Do you see him on the hill at Gettysburg? Neath that great triumphal arch. If you see him as he's trampling through the graves of wrath, stand up and march, march, march. I stand for motherhood, America, and a hot lunch for orphans. Take off your hat, sir. There's a tear-stained eagle passing. Do you see him on the bridge at Waterloo? Neath that great triumphal arch.
Dolly there for you all. When the dollies are low, Hello Dolly is played out to brighten your spirits and remind us, but for the sake of the church, the motherhood, and indeed, not forgetting the fathers out there as well. For all the hard work that they all put in, and that we all do. As long as Daddy's working, and everything's all right. Brother Martin here.
Another one down hotel room. Another wake-up call. Been out here too damn long, and it's coming on fall. Working and sleeping, that's all I do every day. To hear my friends talk, they think I got it made. They ain't handing out this money. I ain't got a damn dime for free. Been giving everything I got to feed my family. Putting food back home on the table. There's an empty spot in my bed. I could work hard every hour and would never get ahead. But my babies know there's one thing that's for certain. Yeah, they ain't ever gotta worry about hurting long as Daddy's working. Wipe the sweat on my brow when I think I can't take anymore. But in the back of my mind, I remember just who I'm working for. The good Lord's got my family, and I know they're doing fine. 'Cause He's got His job covered. Now it's time that I do mine. They ain't handing out this money. I ain't got a damn dime for free. Been giving everything I got to feed my family. Putting food back home on the table. There's an empty spot in my bed. I can work hard every hour and would never get ahead. My babies know there's one thing that's for certain. They ain't ever gotta worry about hurting long as Daddy's working. They ain't handing out this money. I ain't got a damn dime for free. Been giving everything I got to feed my family. Putting food back home on the table. There's an empty spot in my bed. I can work hard every hour and would never get ahead. My babies know there's one thing that's for certain. Yeah, they ain't ever gotta worry about hurting long as Daddy's working. Long as Daddy's working.
Father Brian there. A wonderful song, and I thought that most appropriate to honor thy fathers this year. On the basis of energy bills increasing, particularly here in the UK and good old Great Britain, and indeed all of the many, many worried people, quite frankly, in the world, those that are the lowest common denominators who cannot work and who do not have the affordability of increasing energy bills for their electricity and their gas, well, something has to be done about it. And by recessioning and by working things out by people from all walks of life, the governments will act accordingly to the many variations of what has been said by the power of the people. Of course, not everybody is living in poverty. Of course, not everybody is poor. Of course, Some people are very poor. Of course, some people are living in poverty. We hope through our charities and our organization, through causes such as the Red Cross, and help further afield in other countries by aid wherever we can give it in feeding the world and housing and sheltering the world, and the many children who are all God's creatures, each and every one of us upon this planet. However you have survived, or your families and forefathers and mothers have survived and have got by in life, there are means and ways and always talks going on through the clergy, through governments, through the people, and through family and friends to help where we can, when we can, and do what we can, when we can. And indeed, times are tough, and it may be a very tough winter for some. And those going through a change of occupation or career or jobs or retirement or suspensions here and there, you may learn through the knowledge of all of us, there are ways and means to make a better world for yourselves. Grow your own fruit and vegetables in your garden. Farm where you can, produce locally, look out for cheaper options when shopping, and also better ways of life. It doesn't mean you can't spend money. If nobody spent money, nothing would exist, and money is currency. There is a very, very vast distance from what those in the world perceive as a cashless society. For those without banks, for those that are well into their overdrafts or have frozen bank accounts, or indeed don't have the stability of savings or banking, cards and checks aren't a reality for those people. Cash is still very much a reality. So we're a million miles away from ever having a fully cashless society, as some of those in the most affluent society are perceiving and predicting or profiteering. It is a view to the future, but it's far, far away from the present, in my humble knowledge and opinion. And with that said, whilst honouring each other and helping where we can, charity begins at home. Make sure you have the stability within your own homes, your own families, and your own friends, groups, and connectivity before you're able to help others. And then help wherever you can, once you have a bit of stability in your life, through faith, through healing, through charitable causes and good deeds, be it within the community or at home. Do your chores around the house. Help Mum out with the gardening, or help Dad out with a bit of DIY. And indeed, clean your rooms, tidy up behind you, do the washing up and drying up, and be good where you can be good. Unto the sixth commandment, you shall not murder. This is an interesting and very intriguing commandment, because the world prior to the commandments to Moses on the Mount had been full of turmoil and great wars, and one nation battling and defeating another from way back as far as Alexander the Great and beyond, and of course the great wars since then, the Crimea Wars, the Great World War I and II, the wars on terror, and indeed the many other wars that have come here, there, and in every century, it seems. Will we ever learn? As time progresses, nations do put down their weapons. But also in evolution, and as time progresses, one man or one country or one government or leader are still keen to defend thy nations, this vast landscape that belongs to all of us. But try not to murder, for, in my opinion, thou shalt be coming back to haunt thee. I now take you to an excerpt of Thou Shalt Not Kill, a new television program, Walter's intro. an elegant Italian crime thriller set amongst the dark and moody streets of Turin. Detective Valeria Ferro is a bit of a loner, stubborn, determined, and particularly gifted when it comes to solving crimes motivated by that what one may perceive as a commandment not to be jealous. Motivated crimes of jealousy, vendettas, and repressed anger.
Inspector Valeria Ferro is the head of the homicide squad in Turin, northern Italy. She is razor sharp, steely, and inscrutable. Justice is her obsession. Morally ambiguous cases, her speciality. Stubborn and determined, Valeria tries to unravel the challenging puzzles behind crimes motivated by jealousy, vendettas, and repressed anger to seek the truth. But her ice-cool demeanor and unflappable attitude hide a complex and traumatic personal life she is trying to make sense of. Her mother is about to be released from jail after serving a 17-year sentence. Could her own past prove to be the most challenging and traumatic case Valeria will ever have to solve? Thou Shalt Not Kill is a smart and addictive piece of television that deliberately challenges the sun, sea, and Sicily stereotypes of most Italian crime shows and explores a different side of the country. The city of Turin provides a dark, cool, almost Nordic visual backdrop to the action. It is stylish, elegant, and restrained. But don't be fooled by the cool exterior. The visceral emotions at the heart of the series pulsate with 100% Italian blood.
Thou Shalt Not Kill, from our sisters and brothers out in Italia. So, of course, we must reflect upon the commandments and remember that the commandments were given to Moses on the Mount for the correctional purposes of mankind. Therefore, if in a previous life, within your embodiment here on earth, you had murdered, not honored, or not remembered the Sabbath day or kept it holy, etc., and so forth, not taking the Lord's name in vain if you had, these messages were sent to correct yourself in your future life to become a better person. For if you have the correct confessor, then you shall be forgiven. With the seventh commandment, you shall not commit adultery. An interesting one within the relationship setups of 2022, in comparison to, say, that of 1822, 1922, or before. Some who are Puritans amongst our perfect utopian world may only commit yourself to one man or one woman as according to the holy ordinance of the great tradition of marriage. However, in today's society, there are many, many extended relationships. Those that have open relationships, for example. Some may be married and may have an understanding within the marriage of an extra partner joining them, perhaps, in what may be perceived as, if it's your thing and you're a little kinky, a threesome. Or indeed, if you have an understanding of relationships outside of your committed bed, then so be it upon your decisions. However, adultery, in the eyes of the law and the eyes of the church, is still committed, a commandment to be obeyed. And we must remember in this day and age, I have friends that I know that don't have one partner but two. That's right. The new lyrics of the 20th century taught us that one is impossible, two can be dreary, three is company, safe and cheery. So you see, in the modern world, some people may have two partners, that the three or live together in bliss. It's not for everyone. Some people are only meant for one other person. One man and one woman, or one woman with another woman, or one man with another man, or whatever your gender, be you non-binary specific. However, in true form of belief, adultery is still seen as a commandment of the old world. Although some people can forget these things. I also serve you this message that I am not standing in judgment of any of you, but merely as a messenger of the original commandments, and for you to take upon your consciences to act as you will in accordance with the words.
I still recall so tenderly the night when first we met. The memory so dear to me, so how can you forget? Fancy forgetting the love that we knew when we were fancy free. Fancy forgetting what I said to you and what you said to me.
Though the years go by and our youth is gone, memories don't die. Like a song they linger on. So, just when I thought you'd remember it too, just fancy you forgetting.
Every once in a while, you must remind your loved ones, your partners, or your casual relationships, if indeed you're not in a marriage or have made that vow and commitment to another, to learn that it takes all sorts to make the world. And some couples are perfectly understandable of one another. Despite what others' judgments may be, it should be about those that have made the vow and commitment to one another and their lifestyle and their communion and their collaboration of each other's lives. It really is so vast and varied how each relationship is deemed from one side of the table to the other in this day and age. So stand firm in the knowledge that whatever your vows once upon a time were, try to bring to light every once in a while and challenge each other. Keep your words alive and interesting to one another. And of course, we know there are affairs of the heart and the such like, but a little wise reminder from the church about adultery there. But indeed, let your own conscience be your judge. Now on to our next commandment, a difficult one in the texts, thou shalt not steal. Now, of course, we all know that each possession upon this world really belongs to all of us. The grass we stand on, the air we breathe, the land we walk upon, and the sea in which we swim, and the water in which we drink, are all natural resources of the world and the earth. The oil in which comes from below to fuel things, and the electricity and the gases of the world are all sourced from natural parts of our planet. But one man or one woman or one company have taken ownership upon these things as time has progressed, and indeed perceived ownership upon certain things means that we may not take the possessions of another. Now, of course, business is business. Within a business, sometimes things are taken and put back into the business for the greater good of a certain company. However, we must remember how much certain people don't agree with one person taking another's belongings without currency exchanging hands. Once upon a time, things were swapped before monetary systems were involved. For example, a horse would be swapped for a mule, or a goose would be swapped for a chicken, or, in trade. But we must remember that whatever the bearer of ownership has, you can repay people in different ways over the years if you have taken from one person or another and feel through discussion something should be replaced or returned. And if a bad deed has been committed by stealing or theft, well, at some point or another, try to return the things, or indeed have an amicable conversation of means of paying something back, or give a different service to enhance the thing you may have taken in the first place. There are many ways around this commandment in the modern world. Try not to take what belongs to others. And if you do, if you make a mistake in life, try to pay it back in whichever way you can.
I used to know a lady known as Emma Finch, Emma Finch, Emma Finch. She had a kleptomania that made her pinch any article she saw. She liked to spend the afternoon at Bloomingdale's, Bloomingdale's, Bloomingdale's. But Emma's way of going to the bargain sales was a bit beyond the law. Emma took along a shopping bag, Emma took along a shopping list. Emma thought whatever bloom is lost, bloom is never missed. She couldn't see. She couldn't see. She couldn't see. She wouldn't see. And kept too wrong from right, which kept her in the dark, unable to see the light.
Emma, listen to the story of Emma. Listen to the story of
Emma saw a Gucci
lovely Sister Emmer, confessing her sins, and indeed all of us may take a moment to confess to tit for tat and petty bourgeois and petty cash here and there, etc., upon the materials of the world. We must flourish. As I played a little Dolly Levi earlier from Hello Dolly, she quoted from the original text of The Matchmaker, Thornton Wilder's classic. Money is a little like manure. It doesn't do anybody any good unless it is spread around, helping young things to grow. Take knowledge in that, for the riches of the world shall replenish the poorer parts of the world, and the meek shall inherit the world. 2 more commandments. This one I love very much. One of the wisest words. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor, for our neighbors can sometimes become family. We see them more often than some of our extended friends and family, so we must be true and honest with our neighbors. Neighbors should be there for one another. And our neighbors may not be just next door. Our neighbors may be neighboring countries or neighboring continents. I take you now to Mother Everidge, our Mother Superior down under, our Dame Edna Everidge, and her opinion of our neighbors.
Everybody needs good neighbors. Just a friendly wave each morning helps to make a better day. Neighbors need to get to know each other. Next door is only a footstep away. Everybody needs good neighbors with a little understanding. You can find the perfect blend. Neighbors should be there for one another. That's when good neighbors become good friends. You know, Possums, I absolutely adore neighbours, though I frankly can't remember having had one for many, many moons. You see, I live in penthouses and luxury hotels, first class and jet aeroplanes. Frankly, it's so long since I borrowed half a cup of sugar or a tablespoon of cream of tartar from anybody next door that I can't remember my old neighbours' names. Said it lightly in our times, if not better, in a tolerant, simple, nice way. Neighbours, everybody needs a neighbour. Just a friendly way
the marvelous Mother Superior, Edna Everidge, and the wise words of how important neighbours are. Coming to the end of our end of summer service today with yours truly, the amazing Reverend Grace, the 10th and final commandment. You shall not covet your neighbour's house. You shall not covet your neighbour's wife, nor his male servant, nor his female servant, nor his ox, nor his donkey, nor anything that is your neighbour's. Of course, today, perhaps, his ox or donkey may be his cat or dog. Female servant, well, many people are lucky to have a maid in this day and age. Or his male servant or butler, well, that's a rarity to some too. And wife or husband, do not covet. Covet, of course, translating from the original Latin, to yearn or to possess, so to want something, something, especially something belonging to another. So not taking something from your neighbour that belongs to them. A little understanding, a little faith, and respect for the things that are theirs and the things that are yours. Not being jealous of one thing or another. Of course, you can take these words as you wish. Live your life your way. Be wild and debaucherous. Be footloose and fancy-free. But whatever you do, be wise. Be smart. And although everybody sometimes says, don't do this, you mustn't do that. No, sorry, not today. There's a whole lot of world out there that are saying, yes, do this, do that. Enjoy yourselves. Have fun. Go ahead. Goodbye, folks. Until next time, I've been the amazing Reverend Grace, and you've been amazing for tuning in.
Everybody says don't, everybody says don't, everybody says don't, it isn't right, don't, it isn't nice. Everybody says don't, everybody says don't, everybody says don't walk on the grass, don't disturb the peace, don't skate on the ice. Well, I say do, I say walk on the grass, it was meant to feel. I say sail, tilt the windmill, and if you fail, you fail. Everybody says don't, everybody says don't get out of line. When they say that, then, lady, that's a sign. 9 times out of 10, lady, you are doing just fine. Make just a ripple. Come on, be brave. This time a ripple. Next time a wave. Sometimes you have to start small, climbing the tiniest wall. Maybe you're going to fall, but it's better than not starting at all. Everybody says no, stop, mustn't rock the boat, mustn't touch a thing. Everybody says don't, everybody says wait, everybody says can't fight City Hall, can't upset the cart, can't laugh at the king. I say try. I say laugh at the king so they'll make you cry. Lose your poise. Fall if you have to, but lady, make a noise. Yes. Everybody says don't, everybody says can't, everybody says wait around for miracles. That's the way the world is made. I insist on miracles. If you do the miracles, nothing to the I say don't be afraid.
In a world of miracles, be marvelous. God bless you all. I'll see you all soon in sermon And I'm sure you'll hear me all soon on the airwaves again. God bless you all. God be with you all. Amen.